Hi and welcome to Outwell. In this film I'm going to talk you through the features of our Hartford XL, which is in our Evolution collection. You can see here that the Hartford XL is a large dome-style vis-a-vis tent and it sleeps up to 8 people. With it being in our Evolution collection, you'll find that the fly sheet we're using on here is our Outtex 4000. This is a polyester material which has been PU coated on the inside. It has fully taped seams and a hydrostatic head of 4000mm, ensuring that it is completely waterproof. The frame of the tent is all made up of our Duratec fiberglass poles, and these are crossed over in the middle to create the large dome section, and then for each of the pods you'll find that we're using our flat pole sleeves across here just to give a real streamlined and sleek finish to the tent. And you'll also just notice here that we colour code all of the poles to ensure that you get the right pole through the right sleeve, making pitching very easy. Some other features that you'll find on the outside, we're using our innovative Outwell wind stabiliser system. So this is where we directly attach the fly sheet to the poles using these Velcro tabs here. You can see all we need to do is just wrap them around the poles and then fasten into position like so. You'll find there's one at the top and at the bottom of every single pole, and this is then where we attach the guylines. And when we peg the guylines out, it pulls a whole fly sheet against the frame of the tent, ensuring that you're going to get maximum stability even in high wind conditions. So another feature that you'll find on here is our innovative Outwell wind stabiliser system. This is where we directly attach the fly sheet to the frame of the tent using these Velcro tabs here. All we have to do is wrap them around the poles and then secure them in place with the other Velcro tab. You'll find that there's one at the top and at the bottom of every pole around the body of the tent, and this is where we then attach our guylines, and when we peg these out, it pulls the entire fly sheet against the frame of the tent, making the tent very stable and able to be used even in high wind conditions. All of the guylines themselves, you'll see, are all luminous guylines, so this means hopefully you're not going to trip over them quite as easily. And then each guyline also has its own retainer, so when it comes to packing down the tent, we can wrap up the guylines in our hands and pop them in here so that the next time we use them, they're very easily accessible. Something else that we use on here is our easy pegging system. This is where we supply you with 3 different styles of pegs for the tent. So we have our main steel pegs here, which are solid steel for all of the sort of corners of the tent. And you'll find that these then become the anchor pegs. We then have our luminous plastic pegs for all of the luminous guylines, and we have the black plastic pegs for all of the rest of the pegging points around the tent, just making sure that you get the right peg in the right place. Some other features then we'll just see here around the front panorama room that we have these mud valances on here. So this is just going to encourage any rainwater to run down and away from the inside of the tent. When we come round to the front, you'll see it's a good sized opening here, very simple and easy to walk in and out of the tent, and with it being a good size, also easy to get all of your storage and furniture and things like this into the tent as well. When we step into here, you'll see that we have this large panorama room. So what that means is we have this large curved room around here, and then every single panel all the way around here has its own window. But if you want a little bit more privacy, then each window also has its own curtain, which obviously we have all opened at the moment. But these can either be brought either halfway up or they can be fully closed as well. The ground sheet that we use in this area is a detachable ground sheet, and it's just put in place using toggles. The actual material that we're using here is a double coated polyethylene material, so very heavy duty and long lasting, and it has a minimum hydrostatic head of 10,000mm. The ground sheet then in the living area is the exact same material, but the difference here is that it's fully sewn in all the way around into each of the pods at the back. That's going to hopefully keep out those unwanted bugs, and certainly it's going to protect you from any of the elements if there's any drafts or anything like that. So the panorama room and the living area are separated with this large dividing wall, and you can see on here that we have substantial sized ventilation panels on here, and these each have curtains as well, so these can be closed over. The nice feature here though is that if you want it to be one large area, then this whole door can be opened up completely, or obviously it can be zipped closed altogether as well. So when we step back into the main area of the tent, you can see that there's certainly plenty of space in here. I'm around 1.95 m, and you can see that I have plenty of headroom above me here, and there's certainly enough space in here for tables and chairs and things like this. That's actually accentuated thanks to the skylight window at the top here, which again does have its own curtain, so we can close this over if needs be. And then at the top of the tent is where you'll find our lantern hanging point, and coming away from that we have some cable tidies which run down to where our cable entry point is. What this means is we can bring in any electrics or cables into the tent without having them running through any open doors. As I mentioned earlier, the tent sleeps up to 8 people, and it's a vis-a-vis podded style tent, so we actually have 3 separate bedrooms here. The bedroom at the back does also have a door, which allows you access outside. And inside the bedrooms, you'll find that we have some storage pockets and mesh panels, which correspond to outside ventilation. You'll then also see in each of the bedrooms that we have some storage pockets, which are ideal for smaller personal belongings. All of the bedrooms come pre-attached, and you'll see just here that we're using our wave-shaped hanging point system all the way around here. And what that does is it just takes any stress point off of the seam across the top of the bedrooms, making sure that these are held securely in place. There are a few optional extras available for the tent, including a carpet for the living space here, and there's also a footprint available to go under the tent as well. So that's all of the features of our Hartford XL from our Evolution collection. Thanks very much for watching.